Welcome to the Freedom Founder Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Duggar. Now, have you ever asked yourself, am I on the right path? Am I on this path that is bringing me fulfillment? What is my true purpose in life? Are you still looking for that? Well, my guest today is making that a part of his journey, helping people find that true purpose in their lives now. Now, Bill Heinrich, wanted to thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you, Zach. It's great to be here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for
Now,
having me.
of course, absolutely. A show for entrepreneurs. We all have our own individual unique journeys, and where they start is not always where they end up as well. So talk a little bit about your initiation into entrepreneurship. What were you doing, and when was that?
When I got out of college, I went to a 2-year business school. I was offered a job with an insurance company.
Okay.
Selling insurance. And I went and met with them a couple times, and it was like going to be a very long process to go through, to learn. And I was sitting there and it's like, well, I don't even know if I like to sell. So it would seem to me, if I'm going to get in sales, I need to find out if I like to sell.
Yeah.
So I put the interviews on pause, and I literally, this is a true story, I walked out of that insurance office, walked down the street and around the corner, and walked by this office equipment business, and walked in and said, "Hey, I want to talk to the owner." And they said, "What do you need?" I said, "I'm looking for a sales job."
Yep.
And they hired me right on the spot. I met the owner and he hired me. That's literally the way it happened. So I sold office equipment, and it just so happened that a few years later, this little office equipment business became available. I was living in Burlington, Vermont. It was across the lake in Plattsburgh, New York. And I saw it, and somehow I just went over and talked my way into that business. A woman's husband had owned it. He died. The son and the daughter, their daughter and her husband, just wanted this mess out of their life because she didn't know how to run it, and there were some employees. And I literally talked my way into that business and bought it, and we ran it for the next 7 years, and we're very successful with it. So I learned how to sell, and one thing I recognized right away is you're either building your dream or you're building somebody else's.
Okay.
And when you go to work for somebody, if you're really good at what you're doing, really good, especially if you're in sales, I think they call it business development now, but let's just call it sales.
Sure.
If you're good, if you're really good at it, you're not getting paid what you're worth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're no good at it, you get fired.
Okay.
I mean, that's the way business works, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we sold that company. We moved out west to Lake Tahoe, but I always, from that point forward, only worked on a percentage of gross proceeds for anything I ever did. I either had ownership or I got a percentage of the gross profit. That's it. Yep. And they were like, I didn't want to draw. I didn't want anything. It's like, no, I'll just go make my money. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So I was always getting paid what I was worth. And that to me is very exciting.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's laden with many opportunities, taking charge of yourself. And because of that, I've done a lot of different things, been involved in a lot of different things. So, I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of people are looking to get taken care of with benefits and all those other things. Hey, that's great. But you have to be honest about what's important to you. What was important to me was understanding my worth.
Yeah.
And not being in a position where I'm doing something, somebody's got control over, nobody had control over me. I just did what I wanted. If somebody, like when I was working with somebody, I got a percentage of the revenues, and,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they really couldn't tell me what to do or how to do it. It was just, I'll see you at the end of the month with a bucket full of cash. I'll
Yeah.
bring the orders in.
Right. I like that. I like that perspective too, that you're either building your dreams or you're building somebody else's.
Yeah.
I think that's a true perspective that
Mm-hmm.
we don't always consider. And like you also said, it's not that the path of working in a W-2 role and getting benefits and getting taken care of is wrong. But it's not the path for everyone. And it's also
No.
a perspective shift that some people go through when they're feeling dissatisfied and like they're not quite being fulfilled or experiencing the value that they're bringing to the company. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like
That's
your approach
correct. Yeah.
that you experience through these other
Right.
roles and percentages that you would gain at the end of the month, bringing in that bucket of cash.
There it is. Here's what I did. Here's our agreement. I get my money, you get yours. Off we go.
Yeah. So you ran this office supply. It was an office supply store that you had mentioned.
Office supply, office equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, office equipment.
Look, I'm going back to when there were typewriters. So
yeah, sure. Yep, absolutely. And so for 7 years, ran that. Now, what happened at the end of that 7-year period?
Well, I think one of the most important things is for entrepreneurs or anybody listening is I had all types of success, but could never hold on to it, and ended up many years later so miserable with what was going on in my life that I literally walked away from it to go find the source of my misery.
Okay.
Now, this is when my life really began. This is when, like, I really got to what the essence of life is. And this is where I've been focused ever since, is showing people how to live in their passion with purpose, and how to show them that what creates and causes all the suffering that people go through. And there's some very, very distinct differences. And one of the biggest ones is this, is whether you're an entrepreneur, you're working for somebody, I don't care who you are, we have all come to earth with life lessons.
Yeah.
We have lessons to learn, very specific lessons. And on the other side of those lessons, Zach, is our life purpose.
Okay.
When we figure out those lessons, it puts us right into our sweet spot. Okay. However, these lessons are very, very well hidden.
Okay.
And what's happening is everybody's walking around with this huge blind spot because you have these lessons. So you're literally living with a blindfold on, making decisions based on who you aren't, not who you are. Okay. And it's a fact. I mean, I can show it, I can prove it, literally prove it to anybody. I've been doing this 15 years, working with clients all around the world. I'm a business coach, but I never talk business.
Right.
Let me repeat that.
Yep.
I'm a business coach. I never talk business. The reason we don't talk business is all we talk about is inner game, about their lessons and what's happening and how they're reacting to life and where they are emotionally, their level of emotional maturity, so that they have the clarity that they need to make the most powerful choices for themselves in the moment. And this, people, business coaches, and, they go and talk business and this and that. The irony is, when you know who you are, you don't need a business coach. Okay. You'll know what to do in business. What trips you up are the blind spots around these lessons. This is where all of your challenges, all the problems come. whether it's business, in your relationship, social, family, every aspect of your life is affected by that. Let me give you an example. One client I worked with, these are just like, I'm going to just touch on a couple of quick, really simple examples.
Absolutely.
One client I worked with owns his own business, very successful from all external observations. But as a young child, he was bullied a lot. Now, one day coming home from school, the bullies came after him. It was in, 6th, 7th grade, whatever it was. And that was the day he dropped his backpack and went at it with them.
Yep.
And got his ass kicked, but stood up to them. Okay. And really felt like he claimed himself in that moment. Okay.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is he didn't claim himself. The truth of the matter is, because of the bullying, because of the way he protected himself, he was still peeking around the corner in every area of life.
Yeah.
He didn't trust. He was always just, just another client who's had a situation where his father betrayed him in a particular way, and was living and making all of his choices and doing all of his work based upon beliefs of deep betrayal inside him, that he couldn't trust the people in front of him. So he was always in muddying up the paperwork and checking, hey, Zach, did you get that paperwork for me? Is it done? When's it going over to Mary? You didn't trust anybody.
Right.
Okay. I mean, so I can show you hundreds and hundreds of those, hundreds of them, with all the different clients I've worked with. And in this case, this particular gentleman is very successful in the financial industry. And this has completely changed his life, because he can now work more cooperatively with people. And he now understands the energetic value that's required. Okay.
Right.
So we all have life lessons. We all have blind spots. But that's not what we're taught in business. What we're taught in business is, set a goal and go do it. Come out of the cave with your club and go out there and slay the world.
Right.
Drag it back to the cave, right? But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot going on inside of everybody that's causing massive, massive disruptions.
Yeah.
Massive disruptions. And the vast majority of people that I work with do not feel safe.
They don't feel safe. Say that. Yeah.
Safe. They don't feel safe.
I got it.
They don't know what safety is.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, they lock the doors at night, but they don't feel safe with their finances. They don't feel safe emotionally. They don't feel safe in many, many different ways. Yet they don't recognize it because they've always lived that way.
Right.
Right.
Yep. It's just the norm.
It's their norm.
Yeah.
And we all have our norms, and the irony of it is, we all think that our norms are the way everybody else sees the world, and there's nothing further from the truth. Nothing further from the truth. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
So when I work with people now, what we work on, the first premise I work on with business people is this: there's one ingredient that's critical in any business relationship. And if you don't have it, run. Okay. And that is mutual appreciation.
Yeah.
So the objective is, with me and my clients, is always to create mutual appreciation, as you and I have right now. I appreciate what you're doing. You appreciate what I have to offer. We're here to share for the benefit of all involved, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody's here to take. Nobody's here to win. We're just here to accomplish helping other people by giving them some valuable information.
Yeah.
And when we have that mutual appreciation, Now we can have a free-flowing, open conversation. When you don't have mutual appreciation, you have somebody that doesn't trust you. They want a lower price. They don't understand value. Everything's
Right.
based on dollars and cents. I mean, I can go down the list. Okay. And look, I've always told people there's two ways you can buy hay. You can buy it before or after it's been through the horse. So, it all depends what quality you want.
Right.
Right. And
Absolutely.
if you don't understand this yourself, it's very easy to create. And I'll guarantee you, if you go back and look at any relationship you're in, whether it's business or personal, if there isn't mutual appreciation, there's a couple of unhappy people there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a great foundation to start with in regards to that. And from what you're describing, the work that you do with individuals who are in business or pursuing this type of a path, sounds almost like you're in the realm of psychology. I mean, really,
Totally. I am.
yeah,
I'm actually an expert in the area of emotional intelligence.
yeah,
I'm an expert in the area of energy,
okay,
and let's take a look at that. Let's
yep,
say that I'm in sales. First of all, if you're in sales, stop selling. Okay, stop selling. Okay, but it's like we sit down and say, Zach, it's really nice to meet you. Okay, I have one objective in our meeting, and that's it. I'm
yeah,
going to walk away from this meeting with an appreciation for who you are, and I would like you to do the same for me.
that's a different conversation right there. Then I
Now,
think a lot of
you
sales
have an
approach.
interest, you're looking for interest. I deal with people who come to me are suffering. They can't
Yeah,
take it anymore. Um, you know, I give with what I've learned and what I teach. Okay. I'm a coach. I give a 100% money back guarantee that they will be successful.
that's a pretty solid guarantee, Bill.
Okay.
I like
And,
that.
and you can write the guarantee.
Yeah.
I don't even care what it says.
Okay.
Why do I do that? When you look at mutual appreciation, it only makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody comes to me, and one woman got in touch with me, filled out an application, and I wouldn't meet with her, right?
Yep.
Because of what was on the application. And so she sends back and says, well, this is ridiculous. If you had met with me, you could have sold me on joining your program. And I was
Yeah.
like, honey, I sent her back a note. I said, dear, you are so far off base. It's sad. I don't sell anybody anything. You need to
Right.
be firmly committed to change your life. And you need to prove to me that you have the responsibility. You can handle the responsibilities I'm going to give you. Because if you want to be powerful and successful, then you must understand energetic responsibility. When you don't, you'll never be successful. It's impossible. It's
Yeah.
absolutely impossible.
Yeah. I like that you are creating a guarantee, but you're also vetting the individuals that are coming in to know that they are committed and they are ready to be engaged
Mm-hmm.
in that process, so that you are able to tell them, if you're engaged and you're committed to this, 100% guarantee we're going to make a change. You
And
will be successful.
the irony is many people I talk to do not take me up on that offer
Yeah. Okay.
because they don't trust themselves.
Sure.
What
Right.
they say is they don't trust me.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, wait, don't tell me you don't trust me because I have my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
I'm giving
Yep.
you a 100% guarantee. What does
Right.
that mean? That means you can come in and work with me. You pay me, and you come in and work with me for 30 days. And at the end of 30 days, you say, this isn't for me. Well, I'll give you back your money.
Yep.
Real simple.
Yep.
No huss, no fuss. I don't care why. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Okay. What matters is I've got somebody in front of me that truly wants to change and trusts my guidance. And
Yeah.
when they do, their life changes like this. It's so fast, so quick. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Now, the work you're doing, is it all virtual at this time?
Yeah. No, nothing in person. That's too slow.
Sure. Right.
It's too slow.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything's virtual.
The virtual option has also allowed you some flexibility with where you work from, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I live in an RV, drive around the country, and have a nice Class A RV. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've been I've been on Zoom so long. I pay them $8.95 a month.
Okay. That's a good deal.
That was their rate way back when.
Yeah.
And they're always wanting me to upgrade to the Pro.
Sure.
Which is now, I don't even know what it is, but that's how long I've been using Zoom. It's kind of funny. And of course, once the pandemic hit, now everybody's understood and is using Zoom. But I kind of laugh about that because I've been doing it for so long, and it's amazing that we have these capabilities and this flexibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't have clarity about who you are, then your clients are going to be running your business.
Okay.
You won't be running it.
Yeah.
When you have clarity about who you are, this is who I am, this is what I offer, this is what I do.
Yep.
And if it doesn't work for you, I have no problem with that. I can't do business with everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm sure as hell not going to do business with people who don't understand my value proposition.
Yeah.
You hiccup around my value proposition, I kick you off the bus.
Sure.
I'm not here to convince you.
Yeah.
If you go back for people that are in sales, if you're in sales, listen to this. Go in and request mutual appreciation right up front.
Yeah.
It's like this. Zach, you want information about X. X is one of the products we handle. So I'm a master in solving situations around X. What you're looking for is a solution of some sort. So let's just mutually, let me understand your problem. I'll let you understand my solutions, and let's see if it comes together.
Yeah.
There's no need to ask you for an order.
Right. If it's a fit, it's a fit.
Yeah. Because you know what the funny part is? Everybody's a yes. In other words, everybody's a yes. They're looking for whatever that product is that the salesman's talking to them about. So it immediately switches over into a conversation of confrontation and protection.
Yeah.
Objectives, point, counterpoint, rather than saying, yeah, here's what it does. Here's the benefits. Here's the way it works. Here's the price ranges.
Yeah.
How are you looking at it? What's your budget? When I connect with you and understand you, you're going to buy from me.
Yeah.
But we're going to do that through a mutual appreciation relationship rather than press down hard 4 copies.
Yes. Yeah. I like that.
Can you feel the difference in that energy?
Absolutely. Definitely. It's more comfortable, and it seems also more of a better flow to that conversation with that energy in that conversation.
It's an authentic conversation.
Yes. The authenticity comes through.
Yes. And my admission to you is I'm just here to help you solve your situation. So
yeah.
And we have different ways it can be solved, but you're the one that needs to make that choice because you're the one spending the money.
Yeah.
And I had a client when I was in Hawaii. I had an organic farmer, and I had set up a series of people in farmers market selling products. Yep. On a rare occasion, somebody would come to the farmers market, buy a product, return home, and then call and say, "Oh, I don't like the product." Okay.
Yeah.
And I'd say, okay, I'd get their name and the date they bought it. Okay. I could look at my records and go, oh, okay, yeah. Great. I've issued you a credit. You're all set.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I just gave you a credit. Isn't that what you wanted? Yeah, it's done. They're like, where's the fight?
Right.
Why aren't you trying to sell me something else?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do with the product I have? Give it to a friend. I want to go to the beach. I don't want to stay on the phone
Yeah.
talking to you. Right? There's
Right.
other things I want to do. Right? I mean,
Yes.
and people were shocked that I would handle it so quickly.
Yeah.
It wasn't, what did you not like about it? It's like, you don't like it, good, you can have your money back.
Yeah.
Let's move on. And they had difficulty accepting it.
Yeah. Now, I like that too, because it's not just about the sale of the product. It's not at all about that, really. It's about adding
Not at all.
value. It's adding value to the individual. And if it isn't something that is working for them, whether their commitments or however it might be, it's not for you to fight with them about it. Credit that back, move on. And in that case, go to the beach. That's not going to add value to you to continue to push into somebody that you already know it's not going to be effective for. So
there's so many people that are out there living in that fight every day. They don't have choices. And this is where I excel in teaching people, showing people what their life purpose is and how to create a clear blueprint, because we each have our own unique path. And I have the ability to show a person their path and get them where they're literally living their life purpose. They understand their challenges. It completely transcends their entire life.
I love that. Well, let me ask you one question that I like to ask all of my guests. And I'm going to think you're going to answer a little differently than some of my guests.
Probably.
If you were to be handed $1 million today with no restrictions on that, no requirements, how would you invest that in your business or another endeavor, and why?
It just has no charge for me whatsoever.
Okay.
You know, I'm so, the answer to the question is, I don't know what I would do with it.
Sure.
Put it in an investment account. When you understand your purpose, money's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. When you understand your purpose, money is irrelevant, because my purpose is to empower others so they can go empower others.
Yeah.
My purpose isn't to run a $5 million coaching business.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because that's a number that creates suffering. When I'm working with somebody and teaching them how to live their purpose, there's no suffering. Right. Do they do great? Yes, I can tell you stories about client success stories that are ridiculous. Okay. But the reason they're ridiculous is because we created the energy, and their whole focus is how they're serving others, not what revenue they're bringing in.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what follows with mutual appreciation and gratitude. You know, here's the mistake that everybody makes. We live in two very separate and distinct dimensions.
Yeah.
We live in a physical dimension, which you and I are experiencing right now. I'm seeing the physical representation of Zach in front of me, and you're seeing the physical representation of Bill in front of you.
Yep.
But this isn't me, and that's not you. Who you are and who I am is the energy behind every thought, word, and action. And the day we die, what I see now, the day you die, is still going to be here, but the energy will be gone.
Right.
Let me repeat that. The milk carton will be here, but it'll be empty. The
Yeah.
energy's gone. So it's an energetic value. And when you understand that, you can access, that's where all your power is, that's where all your potential is. It's in the non-physical, it's in the energy.
Yeah.
Now, when we look at that and the universe is everything in the universe. The very most basic law of the universe is everything's a vibration.
Okay.
E equals mc squared.
Mm-hmm.
Scientifically proven. Everything's a vibration. In fact, everything we see in the physical in front of us is an illusion. It really isn't true. We're making it up in our minds, right? And everybody sees something different. But when you look at energy and vibration, that's always true.
Yeah.
Because a vibration is just a vibration. So when you start understanding vibration, that's how you live your purpose. Your life purpose isn't what you're doing, it's the energy you do everything with.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the two. And as you understand it, you very quickly come to learn now that there's only two emotions: love and fear. Any other emotion comes off from one of those two.
Yeah.
Love can only be obtained in the non-physical. Love cannot be obtained in the physical. What shows up in the physical is a manifestation of love.
Yeah.
Fear is all you're going to find in the physical. And the only reason you're going to find fear is that's all your mind can do, is protect you and create fear.
Right.
So as people are struggling, they're like, one of the greatest fears everyone has is fear of loss, which comes from death.
Yep.
Everything stems off that. And it causes people to live in reaction. There's stories inside them that are creating emotions that don't support them. This is what comes in and erodes the businesses. This is what has the marriage. I don't know what the divorce rate is at now. I know it's still above 50%, right?
Right. Yep.
Which is insidious when you think about it.
Right.
How could it be that high? The reason it's that high is because people aren't connecting energetically, they're connecting intellectually.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing behind it. There's no foundation in intellect, right? Intellect is just shallow. It's hollow. It's just a bunch of information.
Yep.
And guess what? Somebody always is going to have more than you. They're going to know more than you. And it's just blah, blah, blah. But there's no connection there, right?
Right. Yep. That's the truth.
So when you look back at any time in your life, Zach, that was important, a special moment in your life, you're going to go to how you felt.
Right.
Not what happened. It's how it made you feel.
Yep.
It's not intellectual.
Right.
But society is all geared that way. And this is what creates so many problems. It's people in fear, people protecting.
Right.
Creating separation, protecting their stories, always seeking acceptance. It's just judgment, blame, shame, and guilt. These are all things that can only happen in our physical life.
Right.
It is in the non-physical, with your heart, it's impossible to create fear. Your heart can feel fear, but it can't create it. It's impossible. Only your mind can do that.
Yeah. Yep.
So I see this just all the time. People are just living life with a blindfold on, making decisions based on who they aren't. They're living in reaction to the situation. And what I teach people is you take the word reaction take the C out of it and put it on the front, and you're in creation.
Yeah. I like that.
And life in the physical is just about challenges.
Yeah. Now, Bill, if anyone wants to reach out to you, because we've had so much content that you've already delivered, and I know that there's much more that you could converse with me about and that you could share. And I'm over here taking notes on the side. But if someone wants to reach out to you and connect, what is the best way for someone to connect with you and to find out more about the work you're doing?
Go to speaktobill.com.
Okay.
Fill out an application for a 20-minute clarity session.
Okay.
And if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, I'm the guy to talk to.
Yeah.
Because I can take you to the other side so fast it'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
But people only change for one reason, Zach. And that reason isn't what most people think. The reason people change is unwillingness. They're unwilling to live a certain way any longer.
Right.
That's why people change.
Yeah.
So, I've got a fast track to extreme happiness without sacrificing success. I can show it to anybody.
Yeah.
But you can't show up and fool me. It's impossible. Okay.
Right.
Because I'm a master of disguises. I've lived with many of them. I've been there, done that, and I've worked with all kinds of them.
Yeah.
But when everything in the universe happens for you, not to you.
Yeah.
And when you can grasp that concept, it changes how you see everything.
Right.
And it allows you to exercise do you know what our greatest asset is? Most people don't know the answer to this question. Do you want to take a stab at it? The greatest asset?
I'm going to feel like I'm not going to get the answer right, Bill. But our greatest asset, our capacity to create.
Well, it's an offshoot of it.
Okay.
Free will and choice.
Okay.
We have free will and choice. What does that mean? That means you have no limit in your capacity to create.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you have to use your free will and choice. You can't be governed outside of you. You can't follow your free will and choice is about who you are authentically.
Yeah.
We're the only ones in the universe with it. And people don't use it. They don't know how to use it. They don't even recognize it.
Yeah.
But that's our greatest asset. Like people, I can't do anything. I got to keep this job. It's like, that is totally wrong. There's a million different choices.
Right.
You just don't have the capacity to be honest with yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I like that you walked away 30 years ago in that state that you needed to discover where that source of your misery was and found the blueprint to walking out your true life purpose. And now you're taking that and helping others to do the same. So I really appreciate the conversation today, Bill, and the work that you do, and would encourage others. Like Bill said, if you're feeling sick and tired of being sick and tired, go to speaktobill.com, fill out the application for a 20-minute conversation. Be authentic, be real with yourself, but also with Bill, because he'll see through your disguise. But walk out that life purpose today. We all have that capacity. As Bill mentioned, we all have that power of free will and
choice.
And choice. You can choose today to walk out that purpose that you have for yourself right now. You're not stuck. There's support there available to help you along that path. So, Bill, I want to thank you again.
Thank you, Zach. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll look forward to catching up with you again in the future. As mentioned, there's a lot more here that we can continue this conversation together.
There's a lot more.
All right. Well, thank you again, and have a blessed day.